Hi, Nick Dogle, North State Law, where we safeguard your professional license so you can get back to business. Today I'm going to talk about consent orders. So the question is, what is a consent order? Consent order is essentially a document that resolves a complaint with the licensing entity, whether that's a state agency or a licensing board, and puts the complaint finalized and at rest. Now, with a consent order, there's likely to be, it could be considered discipline, it could be considered non-discipline. And that brings me to the next question. Why is it so important to read a consent order before you sign it? Well, obviously, you don't want to sign anything without reading it. Most importantly, when you're signing a legally binding document like a consent order, you want to make sure exactly what you're agreeing to, because at the end of the day, it's an agreement between you and your licensing authority. With that, it could have language in there, like I mentioned a moment ago, that it's not considered discipline. All right, not considered discipline, what exactly does that mean? Typically, not considered discipline means it's not going to be sent to the National Practitioners Data Bank, for example. It's not going to be published on the board's website or anything along those lines, typically. Now, other consent orders and a lot of the other consent orders are going to be considered discipline. What that means is they're going to be sent to whatever National Practitioners Data Bank or similar organization that will go across the entire United States and hit every licensing board for every other state in your profession. And it'll also be published onto the board's website and will be considered discipline, as in you agreed that you would accept the board's punishment for whatever infraction you were accused of making. There are likely to be other terms in these consent orders. That is why it is so important to read all this thoroughly. I have seen a number of people come to me, most of them unrepresented, before they signed a consent order. And then they come to me after the fact, after they've already signed the consent order. They'll call my office and say, hey, I've signed this consent order. The board is now saying that I'm required to do this. I didn't know that when I signed it because I didn't really read it. You got to read it. You got to understand the terms that you're going to have to abide by with your licensing entity. You have to understand what you're agreeing with. You have to understand, if you are accepting a penalty, what that penalty might mean, because that consent order most likely is going to be the one published on the board's website. That would be probably about 99.9% of the licensing authorities. They will publish the disciplinary consent order, and frankly 100% of them should do it because it is required. Now, going back a little bit to the non-disciplinary consent orders, those are obviously the preferred of the consent orders because it's not going to be considered discipline. It's likely not to be published on the board's website. There are always exceptions to that. That's why it's important to read that stuff carefully, because I have seen certain boards, they'll have non-disciplinary consent orders, and most people would think, oh, non-discipline, it's fine. I don't have to worry about anything. Nobody's going to find out about this, and blah, blah, blah. Well, certain boards will still have language in those consent orders that say this will be published on the board's website. And obviously that could be troublesome for a lot of folks, and they might not want that. So you gotta read it. If you've got any questions about consent orders or anything else related to professional licensing, administrative law within the state of North Carolina, please check out my firm's website. It's northstatelawfirm.com. I got a lot of answers via blogs on there. Check that out first. You can check out our YouTube channel. And you can always, if you're not able to find the answer you're looking for there, give us a call. It's 919-521-8810. We offer free 15-minute discovery call with a member of my staff. I hope everybody has a fantastic day, and thank you for taking care of North Carolina. Bye-bye.